All right, coming to you live from the Courtyard Marriott in downtown Phoenix, Arizona, by the airport. It's another edition of the Q&A with Alan and Marshall show with special guests today, Jesse with Matsui and Chris from Buckets of Ink. So hopefully you can hear us because we don't know what we're doing setting up the technology, and we've been playing around with it for 45 minutes. So hopefully it works. If you're watching, can you please comment that you can hear us? And Alan, why don't you say hello, and Jesse, you say hello, so everybody can make sure you can hear us.
Well, I'm Alan Howe with Easy Way Systems. And Marshall, I think this being Friday the 13th, we haven't had technical difficulties in a while, so we'll just blame the day when we do.
Yeah, right.
So I am also here at the Courtyard Marriott and Airport in Phoenix. I've been here all week. And this is actually the first time, Marshall, we have done this together when it wasn't a seminar.
Right, yeah, it's crazy that this is the first time we're getting together. And for those of you wondering how we're all in the same room, let me tell you, this is a giant 8-foot long table. We're social distancing. We were wearing masks earlier, but we don't have to now because, you know, I couldn't even hit Alan with a baseball if I wanted to. But and Jesse's right here. So how you doing, Jesse?
Good, Marshall. Thank you for having me. Jesse Martinez with Matsui International. Looking forward to today's event and happy to be here. And I'm glad you live in Arizona because I get to see you guys. I get to get out, and it feels good to get out of the house.
It does feel good to get out of the house. I can't believe I'm out of the house right now in the COVID castle lockdown. So anyway, so we have a lot to talk about today. So I want to make sure if you're watching right now, please say hello. We want to know who you are. We want to know where you're watching from. And then more so than that, we want to know what are your questions? What are your problems? What are you struggling with? We can't have a Q&A show without the Q part. We do the A, you do the Q. That's how it works. So anyway, so please say hello. We got some people commenting. So Brian says you can hear us 10 out of 10. That's great. Eric's here. Hey, Eric. Sam Bollinger's here. How you doing,
Sam Bollinger
Sam?
from Multicraft in Michigan.
Yosta's here from Sweden. How's it going?
Yosta?
Audio sounds great. Thank you. Marcia. Hey, y'all. Hey, Jesse with Action Engineering. Kisa's here. Good morning, guys. Charles from New Mexico is here.
Yeah.
And Eric's in Orlando, he says. And Sam says, at home in Lansing, Michigan today. And Alan's about to get on a plane here in about what, an hour and a half, 2 hours?
Yeah, this ends in an hour, and I have an hour and a half before my flight.
Right.
So going to be pushing it.
Yeah.
Sam, you need to be out making sales calls, selling Easy Way. You're one of my dealers.
And Richard's here. So
Richard Reeves.
Yeah. So that's great. So everybody's joining us today. So happy Friday the 13th. Hopefully the superstitious part of the day won't come true for you. That's my wish for you. So anyway, so let's get started with some topics. And we wanted to talk about water-based ink with Jesse because he's here. So Jesse, talk to us about what you're excited about for next year. What's going on with water-based ink? Anything?
So for Matsui in general, right now, what we have been focusing in during this pandemic time, there's been a lot of complaints about color mixing systems. So we're very excited about releasing our first version of our new color mixing software, which is going to make it a lot easier to use our product. We've set it up in a way where it's set up where you can choose your application, your ink system, and even your Pantone type that you're going to be working with. So this has been a huge complaint for many years, and we've already released it for probably about 3 weeks now.
What is it called?
It's just called Color Mixer 3.0.
That's a great name.
Yeah, Color Mixer 3.0.
Original.
Keep it very simple. But we have a nice little color wheel in there. We have a color sample that the printers are going to be able to use as a guide. But the most important thing is the name of our products. The bases, the actual name of the bases are on there now, where before it used to be, a code that was irrelevant to a lot of people. So then it was very difficult to understand. And we're getting a lot of great feedback. And that has been, I think the biggest drawback with using Matsui. So I invite everybody to come out to our website and or register for it. It is on the cloud. So it's not a download. It's available on the cloud. You can find it on our website under Ink Tools, and it's just called Color Mixer. Another big thing that we're excited about right now is one of our competitors discontinued one of their water-based products.
Well, it makes your job easier, doesn't it?
It does. It does. I mean, so there's a lot of confusion going on out there right now with this product. Right. So we're getting a lot of phone calls and a lot of requests for conversion help. And just want to reassure everybody that we're here to help out. If not with Matsui, there's a lot of great products out there that can also replace that product. And, so it's a WB99 if anybody's already out there using it. Matsui definitely has a substitute for that product. Along with some of the other brands that are out there, they also have some pretty good substitutes.
So the ink, Jesse, is it a pigment concentrate? Is it a ready for use mix? What is it?
So the WB99 was a base and pigment system, but Matsui offers both base and pigment systems and also ready for use systems. So you have a choice. If you want to go to ready for use, we do have ready for use systems available. Base and pigment systems to me are the better solutions because they give you more versatility. And they allow you to, go from discharge to water-based to high solid acrylics. Yeah. So there's more flexibility there.
Yeah, I've used PC systems for a long time in the Wilflex. That's, kind of what I grew up on in the industry. And a tip for mixing inks is to put the pigments into a condiment bottle, like a ketchup bottle. Mm-hmm. And that way you need to add that one little last drop. You can just like that. So it's really hard to do that with like a palette knife or like the ink mixing blade. It's real easy to do with a condiment bottle. And of course, some of the pigments are a little runnier than others. Like, violet was always the runniest, right? So you want to really control how the opening of that condiment bottle for when you squirt it in, just to control that, how much you're putting in. Because sometimes all you need is that, 0.02 or 3 or whatever to get that mix exactly right. And this is how you control it.
Yep. Jess, is the software, is it on the cloud? Is it something they download?
Yes, it's on the cloud. And again, this is our first version of it. Mm-hmm. We're going to continue to improve it throughout the year. Our goal is to make it as shop friendly as possible, where you can even customize it, upload your own formulas, save your formulas, add some costing on there. So we're going to continue to improve it. This is not
wonderful.
We're not done yet. So right now we just wanted to get something out there that the printers can use immediately to get their colors as close to accurate as possible. We all know there's no software out there that's perfect.
Correct.
Okay. But we do have an email there that if you do come across a formula that's not working, send us an email and we'll send you an adjusted formula. Okay, within 24 hours is what we're trying to.
Okay, cool. So we got some questions here, and I'm gonna get to Keith. I'm gonna get to your question in a minute, but Sam has a question. Is the old system still available for download for those folks who want to continue using what they were?
Yes, it is available, and we could email them a link, and I can email you a link, Sam, so that you can pass it on if need be.
Great. And David Eggers is here. He says, good to see Jesse on the show. So good morning. Simon Clifford is here. Good morning. Cora is watching from Wisconsin. So good morning to her. And then Sam says, Boston Round squeegeable bottles from Uline, consistent drops in the 0.04 to 0.08 grams. Thank you, Sam. That's a great tip.
Marshall, we need to give a little shout out to Simon. Simon, so glad to see you on here. Simon posted, and none of us knew, he went into the hospital, ended up having to have some emergency stents put in, and
Oh
it
my
was a little
gosh.
touchy.
Mhm.
So Simon, good to see you. Hope you're getting healing well.
Are you home yet?
He is home.
Yes, he's recovering.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And did I miss somebody saying hello? Oh yeah, Jay's here. Good morning, Jay. And then Justin's here. Good morning.
Justin.
Nice to see you. Good, nice meeting you the other day, Alan.
So Justin is with Aztec down in Tucson, and I walked in with buckets of ink, and he knew who I was.
Yeah, good.
His shop, they watch, they listen, and they keep it on while working. So
Well,
Justin, it was great being there.
awesome. I'm
Super clean shop.
happy to hear.
Like
You know, I like a
spotless.
clean shop. That's really great. And so we'll have Chris on here in a minute. They're kind of hot seating here with Jesse. So, and I want to get to Kisa's question before we get too far into this. So Kisa says, I was supposed to reach out to Alan last week and my week got away. Alan, can you talk about a dip tank? I'm ready. So you guys have a new dip tank, don't you?
We do. The PT25 came out. It holds both manual and automatic frames. Has a little drip edge shelf to set a screen on so your chemical drips back in. There's less loss. There's a sludge catch so your screens aren't sitting in them if should there be stuff at the bottom. We're pretty excited about it, and it's cheaper. It's only $250.
Oh, great. And that's available now?
It's available now.
And
Any Easy Way dealer.
How do I get one?
You can email Easy Way, order them online, or any Easy Way dealer.
Okay, great.
So-
So for Kisa, who does that in Texas? You
In
know?
Texas, Graphic Solutions
Okay, there you go.
is your big one there. Tech Source, Texas, and it's not my area, so that's all I remember.
Yeah, well, just email Alan, Kisa.
Yep.
He'll help you out. We put him on the spot.
Yeah, I don't know what you want to know. They're amazing.
Yeah.
The thing with dip tanks is you don't want them too strong. We recommend with Easy Strip Supra a 1-to-8 mixture to start with, because you only want to do as many screens as you can cycle. If you keep them in there too long or put too many in, emulsion ink's going to drop to the bottom, and yeah, you're going to use more chemical.
Yeah, and also
Which makes me money.
and
So
also a great tip with a dip tank is to mix the replacement fluid separately and then put it in rather than
Yep.
saying I'm just going to add and I'm going to fill it up, because what's going to happen is your mixture in the tank's going to get all kaflooey and you're not going to know what to do. So I always mix it separately in like a 5-gallon bucket and then pour it in.
yep, absolutely. And one thing, because you're in Texas, since this is my first sales trip out here out west, where it's sunshine all the time, make sure your dip tank and with any stencil remover product, you don't want them in direct sunlight. That will degrade them pretty quick.
You mean the plastic?
Well, the chemical
The
itself.
chemical. Okay.
So in a dip tank, if you leave the top open and, and there's a window with sunshine coming in
Right.
there, yeah, direct sunlight over time will could
Okay.
affect it.
That's
So
a
I
good-
was told put the top back on.
That's a good tip. Now the dip tank, does it have like a little strappy thing or whatever to keep the screens underneath?
It does.
the liquid?
It does. Has lever that goes across and keeps the screens if they end up floating.
Great. Awesome. And did you say how many screens it holds?
We have it where it's not too big. You only be able to hold about 2 or 3.
Okay, good.
But that's all you need to do. If you're doing it manually, you can't usually cycle that many.
Right.
And if you can, you have multiple people reclaiming with that big of a washout booth, just get a bigger tank.
Right. Okay, great. Awesome. So Kisa, hopefully that answered your question. I see a whole bunch of stuff streaming in here, and I'm at my home office. I've got the giant 40-inch monitor, and right here on my laptop, it's much smaller. You know what I should do is I should make it bigger. So the old man can see, oh my God, it's so much better. So, all right. So Simon says, glad to be here. Yes, he's home. Jay says, welcome to the Stint Club, Simon. That's funny. Mike's here. Mike Woolbright. Happy Friday the 13th.
Happy Friday 13th, Michael.
Kisa says she's texting her GSG rep right now. See, Alan, you sold something today.
That's great.
So if Alex is watching, you can say, yeah, you sold something. Good job. John Butteroff, is that how you pronounce your name? Is here. Yo.
John is out of Richmond, Indiana, and I was at his shop last week, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. And then Sean from Alpharetta, Georgia says, we also have an easy way dip tank for water before washing out the new stencils. That's great. And then Sam says, saw on a forum the other day, submersible heater for dip tank in the winter from Granger keeps mixture temp around 85 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Would you recommend, Alan, any potential issues from doing this? You guys tested that?
When we first came out with dip tanks in early 2000s, I had a client that had a big fish tank heater in them. I don't know what the Granger ones look like, so I can't comment on it. If it works, great. But make sure if it's like a glass one that sets at the side, then you break the glass on it and there's potential problems there. As far as heat, all chemicals, especially stencil removers, work better when they're warmer. Easy Strip Super is non-flammable, so that's not a problem at all. It won't ignite. But anytime there's heat, it always works better and faster. All chemicals do in the summertime where it's warmer. When it gets colder, especially where Sam's at in Michigan, starting to get colder and closer into winter, all chemicals get lethargic and slow. And then if they get to 55 degrees, people do too, exactly, same way. When it gets to 55 degrees, it just doesn't want to work at all. And that's with most stencil removers. You need to remember too that dip tank chemicals, reclaiming chemicals are freezable. If they freeze, they're dead. So make sure if you're in those winter areas, make sure you have enough product to last you through the winter.
Yeah, you can't have a dip tank iceberg. I don't think.
No, it doesn't work.
Okay, so let's get back to water-based ink. I think we're leaving Jesse out here.
Yeah.
So Jesse, for people who haven't tried water-based ink with the new system, could this be a way that they can do some tippy-toe steps into it?
Absolutely. I want to say the biggest challenge with, again, mixing systems has been being able to print discharge. Okay. Discharge is a very unstable ink, and trying to get color with discharge is very difficult. There's so many different type of fabrics, so many different type of dyes out there. So by having a mixing software that can at least guide you and get you in the right direction to color, it's going to make it a lot easier to try discharge and play around with discharge and play around with water base. So this is our goal with this new mixing system, is to make it easier, try to build confidence in our industry, because water base is coming in strong right now. And we're seeing a big increase in the demand this year with water base. So we're hoping that this software is going to help.
So I have a question with your software. So let's say I want to mix a small quantity of ink, like a pint or a quart or something. I kind of get down to that really tiny unit. I don't have to mix a whole gallon, right?
Absolutely. You just got to be careful, because when you're printing water base, you don't want to have too little. That's when people start running into issues of it drying in the screens.
Right.
So you want to have the right amount of ink in your screen so it doesn't dry. I like to use the analogy of a small puddle versus a big puddle. Which one's going to evaporate quicker? Okay. So you want to make sure you have enough ink in your screens to avoid the ink drying in your screens. That moisture around the image area is very, very important. So, can you mix 200 grams? No problem. But do you want to work with 200 grams is another story. Right. So, I normally recommend start with at least minimum 300 grams, but the reality is that you want to be right around that 600 to 800 grams.
Okay,
of ink.
Cool.
Yeah, great.
All right, you guys have any questions for Jesse? Let's get them in, because we're going to jump over to Chris here in a minute. Just scrolling through here. Where am I? So Sam says, saw on the forum the other day. Oh, you did that one. Simon says, please, scary. My left coronary artery was 99% blocked. Oh my God. Hours and minutes from probably a fatal heart attack. So glad I listened to my body and went to the ER.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
And that's probably good advice for all of us as guys. We try to man through it a lot.
Okay, here's the response from Greg Kitson. We use the stock tank heater from a farm supply store. Works great and very durable. So that answers
Great.
that question.
Good.
Thanks, Greg. Appreciate
Greg.
that. And then Dave says, glad you're around, Simon. Sam says, a good scale that goes to the hundredths of decimal is a great thing to have as well. Just, you don't sell scales too, right?
We do not.
But
no.
I bet Chris does.
Yeah, Sam. Do you sell scales, Sam?
Yes, Sam, are you selling scales?
We'll see if he answers.
Yeah.
Jesse,
I think
do you
everybody
find-
that's legalizing marijuana in this country is now selling scales too.
Oh, yeah. It's a good business. Yes.
In Michigan, you can get it anywhere. Jesse, do you find, I think when people go to mixing systems, whether it's water-based or plastisol, they want to have that feature and options, but I find them chinsing and not wanting to put the money out for the scales. I just find that counterproductive.
Well, think how much the ink is worth.
Exactly.
I mean, so you mix a bucket of ink, depending on how much ink is in the bucket, that's anywhere from $20 to maybe $50, depending on the color, right? And you're going to chinch that on a scale. What if you mix it wrong? And that's $30, $40 out the window, and you got to start over. Just get a better scale and do it right.
Exactly.
You can find a decent scale for about $300, $400. You could at least do a couple of quarts at a time.
Right. Well, what we say is professionals use professional tools. So are you an amateur? Or are you some kind of hack? Or are you a real professional? Get with the program and buy a real scale. Okay.
Yep.
Do yourself a favor.
Yeah. Scales are very important.
Right. Cool. All right. So what else is going on with Matsui?
Right now, basically, we're just trying to get ready for the holidays right now. Just trying to get through the year. And, we're updating our website as well. I don't know how I got myself involved in this, but I took on 2 big projects at the same time, update our website and this color mixing software. So it's been really busy, really, really busy for us. But aside from that, as far as new products, we're getting into the digital squeegee world as well.
Are you?
We do have a screen ink for that. Anything from discharge to just regular acrylics.
And that's an HSA?
Yes. So we do have that solution readily available now. We have a transfer ink now as well. So
Really?
Yeah, screen transfer ink. We are introducing that now.
What does that mean? Does that mean it's made for transfers? It's already got adhesive in it? What does that mean?
No, we actually, it's like any other transfer ink. Currently, they use the powder adhesive. We have a printable adhesive for the water-based transfer ink.
So you can make a screen that's
Exactly.
the adhesive and not have to deal with the mess and the inconsistency of the powder.
Correct.
And the other thing I always hated about the powder is that it always leaves these little trails past the image that leaves these little glue marks around it that always looks like crap, right?
Correct.
So that's really great, and that's a clear, obviously, right?
Yes. We have a base and a white ink available for transfer. And then another nice kind of oxymoron, but product that we just released is a water-based ink that works on water-resistant fabric.
Ooh.
Yes.
We both
at
have.
the
Wow.
same time.
And it works excellent. This product is amazing. We've gotten a lot of requests to print on nylon jackets and add reflective to these nylon jackets, and it has been working surprisingly very, very, very good. If you have that challenge of printing on water-resistant fabrics, we might have a very good solution for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a gigantic question that's going to block out the sun. So here we go. Not necessarily for Jesse, but we're currently taking advantage of the slower business season and are looking to add a shop management system to help streamline our day-to-day operations. Good for you, Eric. We've had 2 webinars with Printavo, but we'd like to look into other companies as well to make sure we choose the best company to fit our needs. We've discovered the only real downside with Printavo is they don't work well with Sanmar reading live inventory pricing and ordering. Any suggestions on, and he got cut off. So I'm sure that's, maybe there's a character limit, and thank God there is. Otherwise we couldn't read the whole thing. So I've used my whole career, I've used Shopworks It's a good system. It really works great. I know everything about it. But let me tell you, I work with lots of companies that use Printavo. I work with some other companies that use Impress. Some people use Price It Pro. I've got more than one of my consulting clients that use Monday.com. I think the biggest challenge people have with their operating system is that there is only one subject matter expert for the system. And so Joe is the only person who knows how to use it. And then everybody else just kind of fumbles around and half-asses it. So if you're going to go to a shop management system, whatever you get, make sure you have everybody well-trained. Everybody's doing it the same way, their standards. And what I can tell you is all these systems are built basically for the lowest common denominator for the shop. They don't know how you run your business. So if you can find something that you like that works about 75 or 80% of whatever you're looking for, then that's what you should go with, especially if it's in your price point, because they all have different ways of charging you. Some it's by the license. Some it's for just the package. I mean, so it's like one of these things, you really got to look at what you need and how much detail you want. And so I used to run some really huge shops. Shopworks is really great for that. And once you really see is if you're a smaller shop, most shops, I think under about, what do you think, Alan, about an auto or two are using Printavo. And then people who are over that probably use Shopworks or Impress. And if you're 20, 30, 40, 50 autos, you've got a guy and you've invented your own. You're not using anything that's off the shelf because you've got that level of complexity. Hopefully that answers your question. If not, you can just email me, or I suggest doing multiple tours with all these different companies and write a pros and cons list. I'd also write down exactly what you're looking for. I'm looking for this. You need order management. It's great that it doesn't, you're looking for something that bloops in Sanmar's catalog. Well, what about SNS? What about TSC? What about, whatever, right? We'll get everybody's, right? Do you get automatic, like when you ship something, does it automatically send the tracking number to your customer, right? So you don't have to do that. What are the little nice things that you need, right? You need to put all that down on paper and figure out if that's what you need. So,
I think it comes down to, how much control do you want in your system? And I also find people that they'll find something that works, but they're going, that's way too expensive. Well, what are you looking for? What are you looking at in your budget? How important is this to you? Do you have your SOPs down on it? And I think you're right, Marshall. The smaller shops it's more of a Printavo, things like that. The shops that are larger, but I also some that really want to dial in everything they're doing are going more to Shopworks. And those monster shops are having stuff developed for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got a guy that works there, right? Because they can afford it, so.
So I say look and see what they have, what fits for you instead of what they don't have. Yeah,
right. And if you need help with understanding this stuff, happy to help you. Just give me a call. Cool. Oh, we got a comment from Greg about that. So he's a Shopworks user.
Absolutely.
Management software is like Photoshop. We buy a huge toolbox and only utilize a handful of the tools. What are your pain points? What do you need to solve? Software is not magic. You still have to do the work. Exactly.
Great. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. And then he says to get the ROI on any software tool you buy.
Yep.
Exactly. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you, Greg. Yeah.
Oh, here he had another one before that. SOPs are mandatory for getting the most out of any shop management system. Exactly.
Yep.
Sam says in your slower seasons, always a good idea to add some R&D time, like new water-based ink, right, Jesse?
Mm-hmm.
Wintertime is always the time to dial in some processes and try some new Matsui for me in the shop I was at. That's great.
Yep. And Sam knows water-based and Matsui. I know he's worked with Jesse quite a bit. He can dial it in.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. All right. So any other thing, Jesse?
No, I think
your phone's in airplane mode, so I can't help you with that at the moment.
That's my phone talking. Shut up, phone.
No, Marshall, I mean, we're just, I think, all waiting to see what happens next year, and I'm ready to get back on the road. and start working at shops. I really miss working at shops and helping people get into water-based. So that's something this year, it's been awesome to be home with the family, but it's time to get on the road and help shops out. So
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to next year and starting from scratch and getting back out there.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, well, cool. Well, thank you so much. We're going to bring Chris on here. And if you've got any questions for Jesse, what's your email in case they want to reach out to you?
So my email is jesse@matsui-color.com. Our website is matsui-color.com. And feel free to look me up online or email me if you have any questions. I'm here to help. And I tell people jokingly that it's a job security. So definitely use my email and reach out, and I'm here to help out. So.
And Matsui, can you spell that for people who haven't maybe heard of your company?
Sure. Matsui, MATSUI.
Great. Awesome, dude. Well, thanks.
Great.
So
Thank you for having me.
We're going to steal your computer for a minute.
Not a problem.
And
switch here with
bring
Chris.
on Chris.
The nice thing, Marshall, about
Thanks,
this
Jesse.
is, thank you, Jesse. The nice thing about this is the first time since pandemic that I think there's been 4 industry people together. This is kind of cool.
Right. So obviously, Chris, you're not Jesse.
Correct.
So so I put the banner up here, 50 shops in 3 days. So Alan, why don't you introduce Chris and tell everyone just what the hell you've been doing all week?
Not a dang thing. This is Chris Brazil, the owner of Buckets of Ink. They're a new Easy Way dealer. I was down here working with them all week, and I worked harder than I've done in a while. We literally hit almost 50 shops, slightly less than 50 in 3 days. I'm going to need to be on vacation for a week, but it was incredible. Jesse and I were talking about it. This is old school. I don't even want to say old school. This is how, when we were younger, we were just out there hitting it. And we weren't just stopping by saying, hey, this is who we are. How you doing? Doing demos, doing on-press demos. And it was incredible. So, yeah. So, Chris, I was excited. I'll be back down.
Well, I definitely want to thank you both for having Buckets of Ink on today for sure. Definitely appreciate, jumping on board with Easy Way. We're super excited to be distributing their product. We definitely take pride in our customers and the service that we can provide. And we have full-size transit vans that we, do a great service for everybody. And bringing the store to the door is really our motto. Trying to help everybody with the great products. And once again, thank you both for having us here today. And, we definitely want to make sure that we service everybody we possibly can.
Yeah, what I thought was really kind of cool is how you're doing business is kind of like how Snap-on Tools does stuff for mechanics. So you bring a truck that's loaded with product to the shops. And so it's got, Alan was showing some pictures, and I wish we were smart enough to have those loaded into the thing here, but evidently we're not that smart, Alan. And
Yeah.
So it's got screens and ink and emulsion and everything in it. And so you just go from shop to shop to shop, and it's instant. If they need something, they get it right there, right?
Correct. Yeah. So we, during this whole pandemic that everything's been going on, we've retooled a lot of what we've done. One of which is we switched our software system over to Zoho, which we definitely love, because now each truck is its own warehouse and is independent inventories. Each driver has Wi-Fi, printers, everything else. It's all phone driven as well. And at this moment, when they get to a location, if we sell something off that truck, it's pulled from that inventory. So it's really about service at the end of the day. Great sales are awesome, but service, obviously, with each customer is extremely important.
Yeah, and I think it's such a fantastic idea. And I know everybody's watching and going, man, I wish they were here. You're only in the Phoenix area, right?
Correct.
I mean, Arizona, really.
Correct. We are looking at branching out in 2020 to some other locations as well. I feel like we have a great model of what we've got going on. We brought on some key people. Brad Carter he was formerly with Workhorse. We brought him on board, and I definitely like the fact that he's on board. He's a key asset to our company, and we brought some new sales guys in too, and some new drivers. Somebody at the warehouse to obviously manage a lot of inventory that does come in.
Right. Cool.
And these drivers are not just delivery drivers. My first day here, we were doing product training with them, not just classroom style, but we were doing hands-on. And these are guys that can help you too. It was so different. It was great. I'm real excited.
Cool. Okay. Well, great. So, what do you think, Chris, what are you looking forward to next year, 2020? We're all like trying to, if we can get past this year, we'll be so much happier, right? So what are you really excited about for next year?
This next year, it's more about how do we help customers dial in their business, after everything that's kind of gone down. It's been slow times. Can we keep prices very competitive? That's a key feature right now. I mean, everybody's concerned about pricing, and is their pricing going to be an increase? The raw materials that everybody has to manufacture these products, and different procedures and processes. Those are key to any business right now, and to making sure that the owners of the businesses recognize that their head production guys, their head guy, but there's a business side of every business, and to make sure that they're still intact with understanding the production side, that key products can save a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. And where do you think a lot of shops, I mean, you guys have customers of all sizes. Where do you think people are really struggling with right now? What's like the most common thing you're hearing?
Probably right now is getting some products in. I'm feeling like I'm starting to see a little bit of the products out there that people are having a struggle to get.
Whether like garments? What do you mean?
Garments, for sure. Garments. I'm seeing garments. I'm also seeing some inks and stuff that people are struggling to try to get inks in. And that's tough. That's really tough. They're taking these orders and they're getting them, which they're very fortunate to get, and they're holding on to these customers that are kind of been hanging on through this time period. And then as well as personnel, a lot of businesses have let people go. They're trying to be a lean, mean machine now, and being a lean, mean machine means there's overtime, and it's a struggle. Mm-hmm. So we're doing our best as we can to also keep that social distancing when we drop off supplies, as well as trying to inform them on different things that they can do to help better their business.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and I think this is a tough time for printers, but it's also a good time for suppliers to capitalize. While some manufacturers are having trouble getting ink to their clients, some other suppliers are going, wait, we have it. And they're moving in, they're testing it, and they're gaining the business. So I think for suppliers, and if you don't have it in stock, you're not a help. I know as a manufacturer, and when I work for a distributor, our job is to have product on hand. And a lot of suppliers I find just they want to keep their stocks low. And I understand that. But man, if you don't have it right now, you're going to lose it. Your clients are going to go somewhere else.
Yeah. So you guys saw a lot of shops. So Alan and Chris, what do you think was, let's hear a story. You guys helped somebody with something, they were struggling with something, and maybe that story can help somebody watching right now.
Yeah. So we were talking earlier, I do a lot with chemical all the time, but I saw so many people still using screen opener. And if you all know me for any amount of time, that just makes me insane.
And why is that, Alan? Why is screen opener bad?
Well, this is kind of my pitch. Screen opener is convenient. It's an aerosol, but it's carcinogenic, which means it causes cancer real bad. It's highly flammable. The fire marshal will lock it down and make you put it in a fireproof room. It doesn't clean well. You have to use a lot of it. And when it's empty, it's usually empty of propellant, not product. You can hear it in there. But at least it's expensive. It's about $70 a case. And you take all that, it doesn't clean well, it's dangerous, it's hazardous. Why? So you take a good on press wash and show them how to do it right. We're talking $33 a gallon, something like that, $36, and cleans better, faster. It also, when I see screen opener, especially in textile shops, that I know there's probably a staining issue. Hot solvents like screen opener, meaning low flash points, cause plastisol ink to stain. And when you do that, the convenience goes way out the door because you're having to use more chemical or a harsh chemical to remove that stain.
So you're really just dogpiling the problem on top of each other. Here. You're not really solving anything. It's easy for the press operator, but for everybody else, it's a giant challenge.
Yeah. I think the hardest part, and I tell managers and owners this because they've said and told me all this week, we'd like to get rid of it. Our guys like it though. You have to be the boss. And I tell them they can make me the bad guy or use this. Say, guys, we can't have this anymore. Fire marshal is not good, is not going to handle it, which is true. So they have to take it away. I'm going to go that screen printers, and if you're a printer, I'm sorry, screen printers are the most amazing people. They can make mud print if they had to. But they're also human beings, and none of us like change until you have to, and then they'll adapt, especially if they're given the tools to do it. So it's a little bit of a battle from the top down, but it's one that needs to be fought. My personal thing, and I've said this in seminars, if you've been in one of my seminars, I'll get on a soapbox if someone brings up screen printing. I think screen opener should not be in a textile shop ever. There's no reason for it.
So really, it's an educational convenience challenge.
Yeah.
Where people, we always say they don't know what they don't know. They've always, we've always been using it this way, right? Kind of a thing. And so they really just need to challenge themselves to learn a better process and understand the reasons why we're having this issue. There's a better product. This is what we need to be doing. We need to switch to this and learn how to do it. And then they can wean themselves away from using it.
Well, exactly. And I think now, because of the crazy year we've had, we've talked it on a big scale where people, I just saw Charles's post.
Yeah, here you go. We don't change, we pivot. Just kidding, Alan. And by the way, for Jesse and Chris, pivot is on Alan's list. After December, we're no longer using the word pivot.
We've used pivot so much this year, we are never allowed to use it again.
It's time to get rid of it.
But I think because of the crazy year we've had, people are willing to pivot, going, especially owners, managers going, how can I do it better? How can I do it faster? How can I save money, but still get quality? And they're a lot more open now.
Hey, you know what we could do is we could start using the word elevate instead of pivot. We
Transition.
want to elevate our performance.
Yeah.
How about that?
I like that. Elevate our performance.
Yeah, I just thought of it.
Yeah. How can I keep my water base from drying? Stop putting very little in. Elevate your performance. Like Jesse said, don't mix the bare minimum. Put more in.
Change is very hard for a lot of people. That's a big thing. They just have a hard time changing. And printers that have been around forever, they don't want to change. So it is a process to get them to change, and you have to keep showing it to them and show them. Sometimes it's the value, and other times it's just a matter of that it is a safety thing.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: if you don't buy the product, then they can't use it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They're forced to change. So and so we want you to use something better. We want you to learn a better way of doing it. We want you to not only save your time, but somebody else's time. So think about how that decision cascades throughout the shop, because you're not the one having to deal with the ghost image in the screen reclaim room. Why do you care?
Yeah.
Right. So, this is the same reason why printers leave the ink bucket full of ink all over the outsides, because they don't have to clean it up. Why do we care? Right. So, But if you have really good processes and you do things the right way, and you're thinking about others downstream from you, you realize that we're all a team, and we can change, and we can do some amazing things if we just think about it.
Yeah.
All right. So
we saw a lot of that, but we were doing everything. Buckets of Ink had a little demonstration dip tank, and we pulled it out, 2 gallon, through part of a screen to demo. So we just weren't running and gunning in a shop and saying hi and dropping a card. It was good quality cards, and add that on top of jet lag. I was exhausted every night.
yeah.
So, but it was a good exhaustion.
Yeah.
Right. And Cora says, here's an example. Red Shirt Company uses red dirt to dye and print their shirts. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what's his name in North Carolina? Eric Henry, right? Who grows his own cotton, makes his dyes his own shirt, makes his own ink. He does everything, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and Chris, at Bucket, you just don't. I mean, we're talking about Easy Way, and I appreciate it. I mean, you're a Madeira thread dealer.
Correct.
You have Madeira thread. You sell backing and topping.
Yes.
You're a workhorse dealer. You guys have sold with Brad Carter. You sell a lot of equipment. What plastisols are you selling?
So we sell WM plastics.
And I understand you're getting a new ink system, color matching system.
Yeah,
in.
we're changing over 100%. So I mean, I think this is going to make it much better for a lot of customers too, because during the busy time, we know we can make up to 60 plus colors a day, custom colors for customers. We try to provide that service for everybody, and that's been huge time frame for a lot of shops. When they're super busy, they might not have the time to make those colors. So it's been really big, and definitely a shout out to Madeira Thread. They've been awesome. We came on board, I think, about 2 years ago, and we carry all their colors in stock. It's a ton of inventory and all their backings and stuff, and they're fantastic, fantastic company to be working with for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like them. So Jesse's in the room, but you guys should hook up and start selling some water mixing.
There it is. Jesse just put his head down. His dealer's here.
Jesse just got called out. He just got called out. Yeah. And definitely shout out to Justin down there at Aztec for sure. That was an awesome experience when we were down there. It was great. Justin,
yeah,
great job.
And it is the cleanest shop down there. It was incredible.
Yeah.
So
and that's Tucson? Where was that?
Yeah, down in Tucson. Yep. Correct. We go down there with our trucks once or twice a week. If we can't get out there, we try to ship everything out. If we can, we do free shipping on that order. But we're down there servicing everybody else. There's a lot of great companies down there, and a lot of people down there that are working really hard to keep their doors open as well too. So we do definitely work our best out there and make sure that communication with everybody down there is really great. We're reaching out to them every week.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys sell a lot online. You're shipping stuff to other states.
Correct.
You ship a lot UPS.
We do. We actually have been doing a lot of modifications to the site. So we forgot to put weights and dims on some products. So if I get caught in the queue, I appreciate everybody calling and saying, hey, are my orders stuck? I can't order. And we will put it in Zoho, and we've been able to process their order quickly and then instantly jump online and see what the problem is and how to correct it. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, I use Zoho. It's a good platform.
Love it. Actually, I love it.
So
and we had a great dinner Tuesday with Marshall. It was awesome. Right there.
Yosta says you have to expand it here. He's in Sweden. So
Oops, Sweden.
There you go.
Buckets of Ink, Sweden.
No kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to go and help you set the warehouse.
I'm all for help. Let me tell you, I'm all for help on that one. Inventory is hard.
All right, cool. We've got about 10 minutes left, and I want to get to the final topic today, which is something I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Which is proactive gratitude. So I wrote a blog article that hadn't been published yet for the leadership group I'm in called Promo Kitchen. And this is the title of that blog article. And I've really been thinking a lot about this. And what this means is proactive gratitude is about what are you doing right now that a year from now, you're going to be really happy you did that. So this is you volunteering with a nonprofit. This is you collaborating with maybe a competitor or somebody else in your industry, or you starting your own podcast, hint, Alan, or whatever you're doing, right? You're a year from now, you're going to think back and go, you know what? I'm really glad I started that process. Thanksgiving's right around the corner. This is why I'm thinking about it. And so right now we're emerging through the pandemic. It's Q4. We're trying to get through the holidays. And then what's going to happen is in mid-December-ish to mid-January-ish is, kind of like this crazy period where everybody's doing some planning and it's vacation time and that kind of stuff. And we're all very thankful of stuff. And I want you right now to be thankful proactively of the stuff that you haven't started yet. I want you to be thinking about what are you going to be doing a year from now and getting started doing that. And the only way that that's going to happen is if you take those steps and launch it, right? And a lot of people don't start things because they want to, it has to be perfect or I'm not doing it, right? And they just overthink things. I'm telling you, you have permission to really suck it up, to do something completely awful. It's not going to work. It's going to be ugly. You're going to stomp your toe and stub your toe, and it's going to be crazy, just like this show.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
If you remember, this is our 33rd episode,
36.
30, whatever. I don't know. And so when we started this show, it was a Facebook Live disaster. Did that stop us? No. The fact that today we're live in a hotel conference room and didn't know how to get the audio right. You should have heard us trying to get this thing to work, okay? We finally did it. We don't know what we're doing, but we're doing it anyway, right? I want you to be proactively gratuitous or whatever the word is, thinking about getting whatever it is on your plate. You've been thinking about something, just launch it. Get it going.
Do it.
What's the first step you need to do? And then doing the thing, right? And if you need help with it, I'll be your sounding board. Let me know. I'm happy to help you, right? So, Alan, let's talk about that with you, right?
Yeah.
And so, give me the reason why you haven't started that podcast yet.
You're killing me. So, those of you that don't know, I made the mistake of telling Marshall about an idea I had for a podcast. I actually had some stuff written out. It was 2 years ago. It was a non-industry one. It was different, and he is on me. I actually wrote it on my whiteboard, but it's still sitting there like that matters.
Actions, in Shirt Lab, we have a motto: actions reveal priorities, right?
Yeah, I hate that motto.
It's not a priority. The reason you haven't done anything is because it's not a priority to you.
And it hasn't been. And you know what? It's sad because things happen and get going. It hasn't been. And every time I look up, I regret, not doing it. And I'll be a little bit of a fear factor. Marshall and I talked about it, and some of the fears. He goes, "Oh, I got that for you." So there's really no excuse. You know what the obstacle is? Me.
Yeah.
So yeah, just to be honest.
Hey, it's always yourself.
It's always
We're
me.
always
It's always me.
We're always our worst enemy about things.
Yeah.
You just have to do it. You have to birth the baby. You just got to get it going.
Yeah.
And do it, right? So that's the big thing. So now's the time. There is no waiting.
There is no waiting.
There is no waiting. You need to go ahead and do the thing, right? And let me tell you, when Alan ever gets around to starting his podcast, he's not going to have any listeners because nobody knows about it, right? And it's going to build from there. You start at zero. Just look at what I'm doing with YouTube, right?
Yep.
So my YouTube project is going fantastic. My son, Jack, he's really helping out. And we're doing some new shows. In fact, I've got a brand new idea that I'm probably going to be launching here in a little bit that I'm not going to tell anybody about yet. But it's all because I'm really excited about stuff and I want to do something different. And I've got a little different idea. And it's just because I want it a year from now to be looking back going, yeah, that thing really worked. Or what did I learn from it? So anyway, that's my little soapbox moment here. Sorry to throw you under the bus, Alan, but that was funny.
Yeah, I knew that was coming though. I saw the bus coming. I stood right in the front of it though too. I should have had a technical difficulty. I'm sorry, I'm on mute.
Well, you can do that. You just you got the power right there.
I was going to hand the microphone and headset over to Jesse, who's sitting right next to us. So I think we need to say, just so people are wondering, we are social distancing. Marshall is way on the other side of the table. Chris is too. Jesse's sitting to our left, masked on. So if you are wondering, we do take this seriously. But it is cool having everybody here. Marshall, I'm going to add something before we leave. You don't know about it. There's a couple things. Weren't you nominated for a Reggie on Two Regular Guys?
And Shirt Lab.
And Shirt Lab was.
Yeah. So a couple. So I'm very excited about that. I'm so honored. It was an amazing list.
Mm-hmm.
There's some really, as well as you, Alan. Come on.
Thank you.
All right. I know you're too humble to mention that you were.
I kind of threw that out there so it'd come back to me. It's always about me.
But I think it's just really awesome that it's really fun to get recognized by your peers, by your industry. It makes me, I win or not, whatever. But it's really fun just to be in the group, to be named. And so I'm thankful for whoever nominated me. I really appreciate that. And whoever's voting for me, or Shirt Lab, thank you. Appreciate that.
And if you want to vote, go over to Two Regular Guys webpage and the Reggie Awards and look us up.
Yeah.
I'm under Best Customer Service. Who knew?
Yeah, you do have the best customer service.
Yeah, but there's some good people in there.
Right.
It is an honor to be just to be nominated. I'm gonna also say something, Marshall, that I'm not sure it's public except within a small group. Many of you might know and don't know that I'm part of what's called the ASDP, which is the Academy of Screen and Digital Print Technology, which is, in a long word, the Hall of Fame for the print and digital industry. Many people that are on here are part of it. Richard Greaves is part of it. Lon Winters, Scott Fresner is, Mark Coudray, Michelle Kaza from all over the world.
Greg Kitson, he's watching.
Greg Kitson is. And I'm not sure, guys, if I'm supposed to say this, but it has been announced in our group. We have some newer members, and Marshall Atkinson has been voted in to the Academy. I
can't tell you, I was floored. I'm so happy. And talk about a humbling experience. I feel like Wayne's World, I'm not worthy kind of a thing, right? And it's an incredible honor. And, it's just, I don't even know what to say. I'm tongue-tied, right? So it's just, and to think that, three people a year get in, right? And
sometimes not even three.
Right. And it's just an amazing thing. And so honored, and I'm so happy to be part of this group. And I can't wait to start contributing and doing stuff and learn the secret handshake or whatever,
It's like the Loyal Order of Water Buffaloes, much like that off the Flintstones.
Yeah.
And guys, like, and that never goes away. I was voted in on 2018. And when you're there at that first Academy dinner and you're sitting there with, guys like Richard Greaves, who him and I are friends, Mark Coudray, Greg Kitson. Then internationally, I was voted in with Grandma Lockie from FESPA's technical director.
Right.
Michelle Kaza, these are just amazing people.
Yeah.
Jesse Greenwood, who's just incredible in the electronics industry. Dave Dennings, Neil Bolding. Just amazing people. So it is humbling every time.
Yeah, Beppy
Quaglia from Virus. Yep.
Yeah, there's just it's an amazing group. I'm so humbled. And this is where the imposter syndrome creeps in a little bit.
Yeah.
But, I'm very happy and I'm all smiles. I can't believe it. And so thank you. And Alan actually is the one that nominated me. So thank you for pushing me through, buddy. I appreciate that.
Well, And Marshall, I feel he should have been in before me. He was nominated. Rick Davis nominated you before.
Right, yes.
And I could tell the story about the lunch we had in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
So a few years ago, Marshall and I are at Fort Worth show. We already have set up. Him and I are having lunch. I knew I was nominated and brought in on first ballot, first year. I knew Marshall was nominated because you told me you were. And we're there at lunch talking. He goes, yeah, I'm hoping to hear about the Academy soon. I wanted to choke on my food because I knew if he hasn't heard now that he didn't make it.
Right.
So it was awful.
That's all right. But, it's just, it's an amazing group, and I'm so humbled to be in it. And, it's kind of it's the industry thing, right? So what else is there after that? I don't know.
From a kid that, my parents are still just happy I'm not in jail out of high school. For me, it was amazing. What's that?
I'm happy you're not in jail.
Yeah, I am too still. And then I look at people that have passed away. Joe Clark, he called me. He was sick at the time. When you get a call from him on congratulations, they've known me since I was 20 years old. It was killer.
Right.
So
yeah.
So congratulations, Marshall. Long
congratulations.
overdue.
Thanks. What a great way to end the show. Appreciate it. Thank you, everyone.
So
all right, cool.
Where are we at?
Where do we go from there? Our time's over. So
yep.
Anybody have any last minute questions? Get them in, and we always kind of give the wrap up. So Alan, you're fixing to fly and get on a plane here in 2 seconds.
In an hour and a half it leaves, so we got to boogie. I got to break down, and Marshall's taking me to the airport.
What are you doing the rest of the weekend, Chris?
Good question. We got still some work to do at the office. With Alan here all week, we kind of got ourselves a little bit behind, so I'll definitely be playing some catch up. And I definitely appreciate, Buckets of Ink being able to sell some easy weight products for sure. So once again, Alan, thank you again for this opportunity. We definitely appreciate it. And thank you, Marshall, too, for the invite out here today. And I did send you a notification for an appointment on Tuesday at 11. So
did you like did you like my video I sent you?
I actually showed all the other drivers too, and I was like, this is how we need to be, and that's why we're going there. So a big shout out to you for sending that, because really we want to
Soapbox. I'm a big fan.
We want to get the next level.
I actually use Soapbox, and I need to use it more, and so I haven't. So Marshall beat me to the punch.
Next time I come out and you guys do this again, I'm going to push you to do that too.
So, but I'm already on it. I use it. I just didn't use. I haven't used it with you. Sam Bollinger, I will have safe travels. You need to call me. We need to set up a time to work. But so
and I want to give a huge shout out here to Jesse, who's off camera right now, for coming out this morning. And later this afternoon, there he is.
All messed up.
Later today, Jesse and I are going out to Acme Prints here in Phoenix, and we're doing some filming, and we're going to do a film for Shirt Lab Tribe about how to use a color spectrometer to measure Pantone colors, and that way you can dial it in. And also, this is how you project yourself as a 9th degree black belt ninja color matching shop, is because you're using a professional tool. So Jesse's got a ton of these things, and I just bought one because it actually is an affordable piece of equipment that came out. And I don't know if I'm more excited about doing this live version of our show today or hanging out with Jesse in the shop, because I haven't been in a shop since March.
I think hanging out with Jesse is always better.
Right.
So
it's gonna be a lot of fun. So I want to give a special shout out to him, and also Acme for allowing us to come in and goof around. So
I wish I could. I would love to change my flight. I might to later on and go with you guys. But I'll watch the video.
Yeah, great.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching. We really appreciate you. Have a fantastic week. And if you have any questions that you didn't want to post publicly, please reach out to me or Alan. We're happy to help you.
Absolutely. Be safe, everyone.
All right. Take care. Bye.